Welcome to the league with your host David Majid, and I'm Benoy Thanchin. Today is Tuesday, May 13th. You give us 5 minutes, we give you the latest clean energy trends. The first one is I was actually at an amazing conference last week. It was the first conference of its kind. It's called the Mid-Atlantic Solar and Storage Summit. We actually did it was on May 5th and May 6th in New Brunswick, New Jersey. I actually did a Solar Maverick podcast interview. I have a podcast called the Solar Maverick Podcast, and I interviewed Serena Patel from the Brattle Group. And they came out actually with the report about uh energy storage market reforms, and we focused on what market reforms for energy storage there could be in PJM. We're actually going to be releasing a podcast about it. Kind of the key things that were basically talked about during this conference was what are the expected changes with the IRA, tariffs, also how transferability is going to be impacted. Something that actually David talked about in the podcast or on the league a while ago was people were also talking about the PJM capacity auction impacts. Basically, from the 2024 capacity auction, there's a 9x increase that will drive customer bills up approximately 20%. And there's been urgent policy discussions, and it could affect project economics and timelines going forward. It's interesting, too. There was talk about New Jersey, like basically this conference focused on New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania. And New Jersey, they're actually planning to lower the SACP price, which is the solar alternate compliance price used in the original SREC program. And this is going to substantially, potentially lower the SREC values in New Jersey for the original solar renewable energy credit program that incentivized solar. They basically provided an SACP schedule for 10 to 15 years, what depending on, what your project qualified for. The interesting thing about that is, if these proposed legislation, there's another one where they would change it actually to a fixed REC program, and it would be at a lot lower value than what the market's currently trading at. The market was trading at around $200, but the market's gone down substantially because of this potential legislation. But what it does create is it creates a moral hazard because now investors can't trust the state. And even though that they have these fixed programs with the TREC and the SUSI program and the renewable energy credits, people don't know whether they might change in the future, just like they're doing this now. This is actually something we're seeing in another state, which I talk about a lot, which is California. California had basically net metering 1, 2, and 3, and basically it's a lower compensation at NEM 3 to the grid. When you sell your electricity back to the grid, a lot of people are grandfathered under NEM 1 and 2, and there's potential legislation to basically not have them grandfathered under that program and to basically be in the latest NEM program. And that creates uncertainty for people who are investing in solar projects because of that. And that's that.
Benoy, thank you so much for sharing that. Can't stand what these regulators are moving the goalpost on us. Absolutely crazy.
It is crazy. And every business, it's about the more certainty that you have, right? The easier it is to do business. And obviously, as well on the federal level, right? All these changes to these existing incentives and tariffs, as you know, is creating a lot of challenges within the industry.
Only the strong survive.
Seriously, that's a great way. And riding that roller coaster and only the strong survive, you're right. There are going to be a lot of companies that go out of business and the strong will survive, as always.
Exactly. So really great news, that a lot of us in the market have been watching $12 billion in power assets deal between LS Power and NRG Energy has occurred. This transaction brings NRG's capacity to 25 gigawatts over key markets such as Texas, the PJM market. One other really interesting component as part of this deal is the deal incorporated the C-Power virtual power plant aggregated portfolio, which is nearly 6 gigawatts in itself. So this news had sent NRG's stocks soaring today. And with that being said, Invenergy, another organization that had recently announced a contract of $1.5 billion awarded to the great folks at Quanta. And Quanta, as an EPC contract, is actually delivering on the largest transmission project in the US that Invenergy has been developing, which we have spoken a few times regarding, into this news briefing. That transmission project that's being done has the ability of over 5,000 megawatts, 800 miles long, and this is the Grain Belt Expressway. So this transmission project is going to be bringing energy to various markets: Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, just to name a few. Quanta, top-notch EPC firm, one of the best when it comes to utility scale projects. And that's that. You've just enjoyed 5 minutes of the absolute best information within the clean tech sector. I expect a subscription to this. Also expect a few likes, boost up our ratings, and enjoy. Take care.